What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another fresh commentary. Now guys, as we all know, a new Portal update came out adding ray tracing to the game. They've been hyping up this RTX update for months now since the release of the 4090, and it finally came out and the game looks incredible. Really love the way everything looks now. Portal is a really old game. It came out back in 2007, and at the time it looked great, but fast forward 15 years, it just doesn't compare to all of the graphical improvements we have now. So to be able to replay the game with actual shadows and reflections and better lighting is just a game changer. I enjoyed my time with this little RTX update. Haven't played the game in more than a decade, and it felt good going back to it and finding all the little Easter eggs they had all around the map. Just all around a very good job from NVIDIA and Valve. But what I really want to talk about in this video is how people are actually getting scared of the new Portal RTX update. That's right, a lot of people have been labeling Portal as a horror game now, saying it's freaking them out with all the new shadow quality, the lighting. Everything looks so bloomy and dark now compared to back then, and they don't like it. Now, don't get me wrong, when I played these games as a kid, it did spook me a little bit. Just the vibe of the entire game was scary because of the background story. Aperture is a pretty dark company, and Portal can get dark at times with Ratman Easter eggs especially. If you don't know who Ratman is, I suggest you look into it, because what the man went through is low-key traumatizing. And when you learn more about what actually went on in the Portal universe, it really opens your eyes on how bad Aperture really is and what everyone had to go through, just for the sake of pushing science or to basically outpace their competitor, Black Mesa. But for the last few days, all I see online lately is how people are getting freaked out by Portal now. And when I first saw this, I thought it was just a joke. Like, it all sounded silly to me. Being scared of this puzzle game? I thought it was just new players, but no, it's OG players as well too. People have been playing the Portal games for years now. Truth is, back then the game's graphics look a bit simplistic, and now we have all these new dark corners and low lighting spots. It's scaring people. But in my perspective, I think it's the complete opposite. With the new RTX update, it makes the game feel more brighter. I feel like the old look for the game is what used to freak me out, but for a lot of people, it's the other way around. They think the new RTX update makes the game look scarier compared to back then. Of course, a lot of it is the new players. They jumped into Portal not knowing a thing about it, just tried it out because they heard about the new RTX update, and they don't like the atmosphere not one bit, with GLaDOS speaking to you the entire time, the way you kick off the game like you're trapped in a jail cell, and how you're forced to go through all of these experiments. I can see how new players can be terrified of this game now. I just never expected OG players to get freaked out. I guess it's been a while since they played the game, because we're all used to it at this point. It's not really shocking what goes on anymore. We're used to being thrown in a pit of fire in the end, threatened by all the AI, and damn near gunned down by turrets with high-pitched voices. So even with ray tracing added, the game still feels the same to me, just looks a bit better. But to other people, the new update is really making them not like Portal, and honestly, I don't think it's that serious. Of course, like I said, for a new player, the vibe the game gives off can be a bit freaky, especially if you never played any of Valve's games before, like the Half-Life series or Portal 1 and 2. They're not horror games, but it does have that same feel to it. Everyone just goes insane, the test subjects, even the robots. It does get a little edgy at times, despite the majority of the game featuring comedic points and a lot of jokes. And with this update, it's probably the most frighteningly believable version of GLaDOS' laboratory we got. So it makes sense why people are getting scared of Portal now because of the RTX features that came out for the game. Portal is now more darker and moodier with ray tracing. Dark shadows fill every corner. Many of the surfaces now appear wet and dry. Balls of electricity bounce about, casting a soft, ghostly light. And the walls, they all look heavy. It just really has this heavy tone, and everything looks more of a mess now. And nobody really realized that until this new update came out. Portal's entire vibe has shifted from a cartoonish feel to something more sinister, and nobody, neither new players or old players, realized that until the game started to look better. Valve's games from the 2000s always had this iconic, blocky, grimy aesthetic to it all. All of Valve's games weren't as graphically impressive, but the look they put into the games always served a function. They had to make it look scary, even though it wasn't really a horror game to fit the aesthetic. Not saying the games looked bad, it just wasn't trying to show off as much horsepower compared to other AAA games out there. But the look they went with all their games worked. And in Half-Life and Portal, the dark looks they all inherited all had a purpose, to show off just how dark the world in both the games are. But it all got overshadowed by the comedy, story, and gameplay of both games. Until now, when we can all look at these games from an entirely different point of view. And now that we look at it with a different perspective, it's definitely terrifying. Like, we never realized until now that we play as a human lab rat, and the tests we have to do are run by a crazy robot. The entire place is abandoned, and most of the staff had died and went completely insane doing so. And that's why a lot of people have been saying that Portal RTX is scary, and it doesn't feel like a Portal game anymore. They're mad, saying things like a Portal with RTX isn't Portal. It feels more like something else, like a different Portal game with a Half-Life 2 feel. And that's why many of you might find this new visual upgrade unsettling, especially if you're more of an OG who likes things as they were. Most people have been hating on the RTX update, but I love my time with it. It felt so nostalgic being able to replay the original Portal with better graphics. graphics. All of the QR code Easter eggs around the map were nice too, and I can definitely understand why some people hate the new RTX look for Portal. They're scared this is how the future games are gonna look. They want the old Valve feel, they don't want anything to change. All these reflections and shaders look weird for them, and I don't understand that. Portal was well overdue for an upgrade. I get the game's been the same for decades, so this feels weird for a lot of people, especially because, like we've been talking about throughout this video, this update really makes all the horror elements of the game stand out. But imagine if the Portal games look like this from the beginning. I'm pretty sure it would have been more of a horror game, and I wouldn't mind that at all. Now that I think about it, Valve should come out with a spin-off horror game set in the Portal universe, maybe with Ratman, because this RTX update has completely blown up. Yes, the entire community is split, with, like I said, one side hating it, saying it looks scary, and the other side loving it, like me. But you can't lie, because of this update, everybody's been coming back to the game after years. The Portal community is more live than ever, with new people as well. Like, this is the best time to come out with a new game. Like, come on Valve, it's been decades. Give us a new game already. And at this point, this RTX update needs to come out for the second game, because I'm pretty sure it'll stand out much more than the first. Considering everything is destroyed thanks to Chell, and all the lighting and vegetation going on, I think this update will work far better on the second game. Maybe they plan on releasing it on Portal 2? Makes sense if they're planning on doing so. I mean, they have to start with the first game and then make their way up. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. Second game would definitely be far scarier than the first though. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about this because this discussion in the community has really caught my attention. I never really realized how scary Portal can be until I replayed the game with ray tracing. At first I thought this whole thing was silly, but after reading some comments and looking around, I looked at the game from other people's perspective and realized that, my god, this game is scary. It's only not scary to us because we're used to the whole thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay blue.